Beaten by my father, bullied at school, with nowhere to turn, I wandered into a tattoo shop in a dark alley. Rumors said the owner was a tough guy, a fighter no one messed with. I pushed open the door, clutching a crumpled $10 bill, summoning all my courage. "I heard you offer protection. Can you help me?" Through a haze of cigarette smoke, the man smirked. "Whose kid are you? You've got some nerve." Yet, for that $10, he protected me for 10 years. I was 14 when I met Caleb Young. Malnourished and small for my age, I looked younger than my classmates. My father, Derek Tate, was a deadbeat, always had been. Our family of 3 survived on Mom's $300 a month sewing factory job. Dad gambled away everything, losing 9 out of 10 bets. Each loss fueled his anger. He'd drink, then lash out at Mom and me. Broken plates and spilled food littered our floor. When I was 5, he lost big. Drunk, he grabbed Mom's hair, slammed her to the ground, and beat her face until he was spent, then kicked her stomach. "You think I'm worthless, huh? You look down on me? You good for nothing, can't even give me a son. I'm a laughingstock." "It's your fault my luck's gone. If I hadn't married you, I'd be rich." Mom curled up, blood matting her hair. She didn't fight back, believing her endurance might spark his conscience. When he tired of hitting her, he turned to me, eyes blazing. "You little tramp, just like your mother." "What's that look? Wanna hit me?" His slap stung so hard it numbed me. It was like a glass wall blocked all sound. That slap burst my eardrum. Mom wailed, clutching me, shielding me with her frail body. Dad's curses and her sobs only stopped when he passed out. At night, his snores mixed with her quiet cries. Her eyes red, she rubbed salve on my bruises, silently cleaning the mess. We huddled on a narrow bed, her arms tight around me. "Mom, can we leave? When I grow up, I'll earn money to take care of you." She stared at the waning moon outside. "We can't. Your dad was so good to me once. He saved for a gold bracelet, carried me miles to see fireworks, bought me dresses I couldn't wear out." I tugged her faded shirt. "Mom, you're lying." She patted my head. "I'm not. He's just lost his way. He'll change. He promised to love me forever." Like that moon, it's waning, but it'll be full again. Her voice wavered as if convincing herself. The next day, sober, Dad acted like nothing happened, joking with Mom, asking for her money. "Ellen, I love you. I was drunk, stupid. Wait till I win big, I'll give you a good life." A few sweet words and Mom handed over her wages. I stared at the cash, wanting to ask, "Didn't you promise to send me to kindergarten?" I was 5 and had never gone. But she smiled, eyes only for Dad. Forgetting me. I stayed quiet. "It's fine." Next month, she'd remember. Thanks to free public school, I started elementary. I missed my preschool years entirely. As I grew, I learned Dad's actions were domestic violence. My teacher said I could call the police. They'd protect us. One night, after a beating, while Dad slept, I grabbed Mom's hand. "Mom, let's call the police. They'll arrest him." She looked shocked, hurt. "Hannah, he's your father. How could you?" Her words stung like a slap, shame burning my face. But my teacher said domestic violence was wrong, no matter who. I insisted on calling. For the first time, Mom hit me. She broke a stick, making me kneel and think. Her blows hurt as much as Dad's. I saw she could hit someone, just not him. I'd taken Dad's beatings without tears, but that night I sobbed. The next morning, she boiled an egg for my bruises, something she saved for Dad. I knew this was a slap and a sweet. Dad did it to her constantly, but I didn't want a mother like that. She felt like a stranger. Before, each beating made me want to grow up fast to protect her, but growing up was painful. It broke my illusions. The violence never stopped. Her forgiveness never changed. I watched her cry in agony, then appease Dad, my heart numbing. I thought I couldn't be more disappointed. But beyond disappointment was despair. At 11, Dad broke my arm. I demanded we call the police. She knelt, weeping, saying I'd kill her if I did. A mother kneeling before her daughter. I was trapped, unable to move. Did Mom love me? I couldn't tell. Maybe she did, but her love for Dad consumed almost everything. Broken bowls piled up, too poor to replace them. Mom kept the usable ones. She gave Dad the best, me the second best, and took the chipped one. Eventually, the bowls broke so much she couldn't tell which were whole. We all used cracked ones. Life was a wreck. Dad demanded more money, hit harder. But one day, he came home happy. He brought roast chicken and a new dress for Mom. She thought spring had arrived. His words plunged her into winter. Holding her hand, he said, Ellen, there's a big shot at the casino. He likes you. Wear this dress, have dinner with him tomorrow, okay? Mom was always beautiful, the town's belle. Her smile froze. Just dinner? Her voice was soft, seeking confirmation. His gaze dodged hers. Ellen, please, just this once. He'll give me a job. I'll make sure you live well. Mom trembled, speechless, aging a decade in a moment. I'd never seen her like that. Her hope shattered. Dad, sensing refusal, cursed her. You're eager in my bed, but not for someone else. You're not worth the dirt under Big Tom's wife's feet. Big Tom's wife from the West End was a sex worker, supporting her husband. Mom begged him to stop. I'll go. That night, Dad sweet-talked her, snoring loudly. Mom held me in the storage room. He was so good before. He'll be good again, right? I asked. What about now? She turned, eyes wet. He was good before you were born. If we didn't have you, my eyes filled with grief. She snapped awake. Hannah, I didn't mean that. She kept explaining as I fell asleep. The next afternoon, the house was empty. I pushed open their bedroom door. Mom lay in her new white dress on their marriage bed, eyes closed, their wedding photo above. Blood dripped from her wrist, pooling on the floor. Her body was cold. Mom had taken her life. She died in her woven dream. Dad's heart was long cold, but she believed spring would come. A true apology is atonement, not words. Dad didn't deserve forgiveness, but she never listened to me. I was 11, and Mom was gone. Dad's rage fell only on me. No one held me at night. No one called me Hannah. Mom's scent vanished, replaced by liquor and smoke. Dad didn't grieve, cursing her weakness, denying her a proper funeral. Each drunken punch knocked me down, but standing up, my hatred grew. He hit me. I called the police. I thought they'd fix everything, but he'd be detained a few days, returning angrier, hitting harder. I vomited blood, lost vision briefly. Countless dizzy spells made me think I'd die. Sadly, I didn't. Maybe he deserved to die first. I hated him, but I hated my cowardice more. I hated trembling at his sight. I hated fearing someone less than human. That hatred kept me alive. Days dragged like spoiled mud. Poor, motherless, ignored by Dad, with average grades and a quiet nature, I was a target in middle school. Classmates mocked and shunned me. Their words cut as deep as punches. In class, answering questions, they sneered, calling me cheap. At recess, in the bathroom, they mocked my walk. They stuck notes on my back, tossed my books, gave me cruel nicknames. They laughed at my odd clothes. They didn't know the shame of navigating puberty alone. I had no mother to guide me. I didn't know girls wore training bras. To save money, I wore Mom's old ones. Bullying didn't care about gender. Near the trash can sat Timmy Quinn, a boy with intellectual disabilities. Poor like me, an outsider, but he had a loving grandma. He wore clean, patched clothes, smelling fresh. His grandma packed eggs and rice balls daily. If they were cautious with me, they were brutal with him. They tricked him into drinking filthy water, called him dummy, stole his change. They dumped cleaning duties on him, threatening he couldn't go home. They called it friendship pranks. He believed them. No one used his real name. He was just dummy. Every day, he gave up his allowance to appease them. He never wasted food, eating crushed eggs and rice balls, returning home covered in footprints. His grandma, old and frail, collected recyclables to fund his allowance. I knew because I saw her scavenging, a kind woman with gentle eyes like Timmy. But good people get bullied. I could barely help myself. When they dragged him to the bathroom, I'd shout, "The principal's coming!" Not teacher, because teachers didn't care. When he was stomped, I brushed dirt off his clothes. In winter, I helped him clean so he could go home early. It got dark fast, and his grandma worried. Unlike me, he had someone waiting, a light on for him. Slowly, I realized Timmy wasn't as dumb as they thought. His name was Timmy Quinn, a beautiful name. He knew who was kind. Each time I helped, he said thank you, bringing breakfast the next day. He had a sausage for a snack, eating it secretly before school, but later shared it. Half for him, half for me. He offered it carefully. I'm not dirty. It's clean. Don't think I'm gross, okay? He called me his best friend, his only friend. He said if he didn't obey, they'd target his grandma. Because I was close to him, I became the second dummy. I wasn't Hannah Tate anymore, but Dummy Tate. They wrote Dummy's wife on my books, asking when we'd marry. They laughed like monsters. Youth's good and evil are so clear. In 8th grade, we got a new teacher, Miss Lee. She was the ideal teacher from storybooks. Strict but fair, she cared about everyone. She banned bullying, holding weekly meetings. Reporting to her worked. I was no longer a joke. Timmy stopped coming home bruised. He was thrilled, promising me a whole sausage for reporting. I said I'd bring him a gift too. We were excited for justice. Timmy loved the cartoon sheep balloons at the school's south gate. He could only look, his allowance stolen. The next day, I arrived early. I spent my saved money on 2 balloons for him, $5. I waited. His seat stayed empty. Miss Lee, voice trembling, said, "Be careful crossing streets." This morning, Timmy Quinn was hit by a truck running a red light. The driver fled. He died instantly. All eyes turned to me. I froze, mind blank. Tears soaked my face. It was fine yesterday. We hadn't celebrated. I hadn't given him the balloons. I hadn't told him he was my only friend too. Why did everything come too late? His grandma came for his things. Eyes red, hands shaking. I helped her load them onto a tricycle. She wept, pulling 2 warm sausages from her bag. Timmy said he'd give his best friend 2 sausages today. He reminded me last night. "You're a good girl. Thank you for looking after him." He had no luck in this life, going before me. I watched her hobble, pushing the tricycle, her clothes flapping like a fragile boat. Sheep balloons swayed on the handlebars as if Timmy waved goodbye, until she vanished around the corner. I blinked dry eyes. That winter afternoon, sunlight stung. Timmy's desk was gone. The classroom felt full. No sign a student was missing. A person gone is a drop in the ocean. Timmy faded from their stories, living only in my memory. His good days were brief. Mine were too. In 9th grade, Miss Lee got me a free dorm spot. One night, during study hall, Dad burst in, reeking of liquor. "Where's that little tramp, Hannah Tate?" He'd lost money, itching to beat me. Miss Lee set down her papers, calm. "Sir, please leave. Class is in session." Her tone hit a nerve. He swept everything off her desk, finger nearly jabbing her face. "You're telling me to leave? Who do you think you are?" He raised his hand. Ms. Lee, barely in her 20s, couldn't hide her fear. She was the teacher I admired most. She'd sneak me supplies, fight for my scholarship, share her chicken when I ate cabbage, ensure I wasn't unfairly treated. Now she faced humiliation because of me. Courage surged. I rushed forward, pulling her back, standing between them. I screamed at Dad to leave, calling him a monster. His slap numbed half my face, blood trickling. My ears rang. My first thought, thank God I stopped him. But the paper flower I'd folded for Teacher's Day would never be given. The guard dragged him away. I faced unreadable stares. They'd done nothing, yet I felt exposed. That slap broke Miss Lee's authority, my dignity, and my last shield. The principal said my dorm stay endangered others, suggesting day school. Miss Lee tried to defend me, but I couldn't face her help. I agreed to leave that night. My belongings were few. I carried them alone. Looking into the dark, I knew my good days were over. Dad would grow bolder. At home, I'd face worse for defying him. At the street's edge, past and future blurred in the cold wind. My life felt like an endless, muddy road. But life went on. In this river of pain, I paddled with a broken oar. The only way to fight violence was with violence. Treat them as they treat you. Wrapped in a thin blanket, I sat at the bridge's end all night. At dawn, a pair of eyes flashed in my mind. Dark, cold, sharp. 6 months earlier, a family moved to town, opening a tattoo shop in Peace Alley. Rumors said it was a mother and son, a fearless thug and a wild widow. Dad only bullied the weak. Drunk one night, he called the widow loose. Word reached the thug. Dad, a big man, was dragged home like a dead pig. Bruised, bloody, missing 2 teeth. A tall man, face shadowed, tossed him into the yard. He stomped Dad's fingers. "Talk trash about my mom again and you won't need that tongue." Dad nodded, silent. I hid behind the door, peeking. His cold eyes met mine, a low chuckle in his throat. When I blinked, he was gone. My back sweaty. Trouble shouldn't touch family. He had principles. That night, I heard Dad groan next door, a secret joy in my heart. The thug was brutal. Dad was bedridden 3 days, too weak to hit me. Fearing trouble, I avoided that alley. But he was the only one who could handle Dad. At dawn, I entered Peace Alley. Mossy stone paths felt soft. At the end stood a 2-story building, walls freshly painted white. A small osmanthus tree budded outside, its scent faint. I took a deep breath and pushed open the door. Sketches lined the living room. A man back to the door wore a white tank top, muscles tight. One hand held a cigarette, the other sorted tools. "Not open yet," he said flatly. The sign read 3 p.m. midnight. I wanted to say I wasn't here for a tattoo, My mouth, crusted from last night's wound, wouldn't move. "Come back later." He turned. His cigarette trembled. Dark eyes stared, then he cursed. "Damn it." A woman poked her head out. "Son, want fried rice?" Ugh, I knew waking early was bad luck. She spun back to the kitchen. A mirror was thrust before me. He touched his cheek, stubbed his cigarette. I looked. A pale girl, hair messy, dark circles, big eyes, half her face swollen, blood dried at her mouth, in a red and white uniform, at dawn. I looked like a ghost. He hadn't hit me, my luck. I wiped my mouth, embarrassed. He grabbed a leather jacket. No tattoos for minors, especially runaways. He'd misunderstood. I shook my head, pulling out the $10. I placed it on the table. "I heard you offer protection. Can you help me?" He glanced at me. "You think I'm a mobster?" I studied him. Younger than expected. Sharp brows, long lashes, handsome but fierce. A mob boss. I blurted it out. He tilted his head, laughing. "Got guts? Whose kid are you?" "From the West End," he thought. "Your dad's Derek Tate?" "Maybe not." He sat on the couch. "Didn't you see that night? I beat your dad." He sipped from a cup. "Will you beat me?" "You need a beating?" I shook my head. "Dad did. I didn't." He raised a brow. "Then we're good." I trusted him somehow. I nudged the $10 forward. Maybe because I was unfazed by Dad's beating, he asked, "Don't hate me?" "I do. I hate that you didn't kill him." He choked, coughing. "How do you want me to protect you?" "Kill my dad." Half joking, half serious. He set the cup down. "Kid, you're bold." I doubled down. "Then cripple him." He rubbed his forehead. "Not taking that job." My heart sank, breath heavy, head spinning. My vision blurred. I collapsed forward. He caught me, laughing. "Scamming me at dawn?" My mind fogged. I woke to antiseptic. My mouth felt cool, less swollen. My right hand was held gently. Nearby, a man and woman whispered. "You scared her into passing out." Her voice scolded. "I'm more wronged than a saint," he drawled. "Wronged? Fever, stress, malnutrition, low blood sugar. You caused half of that." Her gentle voice sharpened. She stood, smacking him. "Ow," he faked. The warmth held my hand firmly. "You don't know. When I changed her clothes, she was skin and bones, bruised everywhere." Her voice broke. "This kid suffered so much." His tone turned cold. "Derek Tate's a heartless jerk. Beating his daughter like that. Should have killed him." "Caleb Young! Shut up!" Silence fell. Cold medicine flowed from the IV, so his name was Caleb Young. In my haze, I thought, Hannah and Caleb, peace and prosperity. Miss Lee said my name was beautiful. Caleb's was too. His parents must love him. My name came from Dad, pointing at a river, calling me Hannah Tate. Mom agreed. Miss Lee said even a weed can bloom. The voices faded. I slept again. I woke in the afternoon. "Hold it to stop the bleeding," the nurse said, pulling the IV, addressing Caleb. He pressed the bandage on my hand. Not too hard, not too soft. I flinched, wanting to say I'd do it. My throat was dry, voice raspy. He held my hand, passing a cup. "Rest, kid. You sound like a busted radio." I couldn't argue. I took it with my left hand. A sip, warm, slightly sweet. Sugar water. I blinked, swallowing slowly. Alone, I didn't know what to say. I sipped slowly. He let go. "We'll get an ear scan later." I shook my head. My piggy bank couldn't cover the IV. More tests were too much. I gestured, rubbing fingers, pointing, shaking my head. He frowned. "What, playing charades?" I gestured again. "I can't pay." He lit up. "You're offering your heart, then taking it back." I choked, speechless. "Stop teasing her," a woman's voice said. Mary, Caleb's mom, entered. This morning I'd only glimpsed her. Their faces were similar, hers softer. She shoved him off the chair. "Teasing me?" I glanced at him. He touched his nose. Mary set a thermos down, opening it. Porridge's aroma filled the room. She touched my forehead. "Fever's down. Eat something light. When you're better, we'll have a feast." I stared at the porridge, guilty. I had nothing to repay them. "You haven't eaten. Be good, eat," she urged. I fidgeted, silent. She sighed, smacking Caleb. "It's your fault, scaring her." Caleb looked helpless. "Fine, my fault. My back's a punching bag. If she doesn't eat, it's on you," Mary gestured. "Hannah, I've hit him." Caleb sighed, picking up the bowl. He stirred it, leaning close. His eyes pleaded. "Little one, eat. You want me to take more hits?" I laughed, taking the bowl, eating slowly. "Slow down," he said. Maybe the porridge was too hot. Tears rolled salty in my mouth. I understood their kindness. Neighbors coaxed kids to eat like this, but I hadn't been a child in years. Dad hated girls. I ate in a corner. 2 pieces of meat and his chopsticks hit my hand. A full bowl and his slap called me lazy. I ate fast, fearing he'd smash my bowl. Mom bragged I ate like a pig, no fuss. She saw what she wanted. Tears fell. I buried my face in the bowl. Caleb held tissues, hesitant. He swallowed. Mom, maybe your porridge is bad? I finished, tears stopping. Was it good, Hannah? Mary asked. I nodded hard. She sighed, smacking Caleb's arm. Since when did my cooking fail? Caleb clutched his arm, eyes wronged. I grinned, hiding it. His glance held something soft. Mary wiped my face with a warm towel. Even after crying, you're pretty. My ears reddened. She said, we'll do a quick check. Your right ear's inflamed, needs a scan. As for costs, this guy caused your stay. He's got money. He won't pay? I'd be ashamed. Caleb muttered, yeah. The scan was quick. The doctor studied the film, voice serious. Her right ear was injured before, untreated. The eardrum's perforated with repeated trauma. We can only reduce inflammation. Can surgery fix it? Mary asked. Low success rate. Not recommended. No one expected this. We left silently. I didn't want them sad. I'd known about my hearing loss. At 5, Dad's slap burst my eardrum. Mom meant to take me to the hospital, but Dad took the money. He said I wasn't a princess, but had princess problems. Mom, weak, gave me 2 pills. My ear throbbed, keeping me awake. I told her it hurt. She got annoyed. Money's hard. Can you be sensible? But I wasn't lying. No one cared. I endured, biting my fingers till they bled. The pain became habit. Their pity tightened my chest. I smiled. It's no big deal. Hearing with one ear's kinda cool. Mary turned away, eyes red. Caleb covered my ear, voice soft. Yeah, pretty cool. Peace Alley felt different inside. I thought Caleb was a thug charging protection, but he was good. So was Mary, brave and kind. My courage faded, leaving emptiness. Dad's blood ran in me. I couldn't escape, doomed to suffer. Mary held my hand. Caleb carried my medicine. It felt like family. I wished the road never ended. But it would. Back at the alley, the illusion would break. I planned to grab my bag and go home. What awaited, I didn't know. It choked me. My woven bag was gone. Not coming in? Looking for ghosts? Caleb teased, sketching. My bag? The woven one? I mumbled. He pointed. In the south room, Mom put it there. I hesitated, stepping inside. The room was warm, sunlight streaming in. My bag sat on a shelf beside sketchbooks. Mary appeared. Hannah, stay for dinner. You're not going back tonight. I froze. Caleb glanced up. Listen to Mom. You're not going back to him. Their kindness overwhelmed me. I nodded. That night, I stayed. Mary cooked rice, greens, and fish. We ate quietly, chopsticks clinking. Caleb barely spoke, but his presence was steady. Over weeks, I didn't go home. Mary gave me a room upstairs. Caleb taught me to sketch, his rough hands guiding mine. Kid, you're hopeless, he'd tease, but his eyes were warm. I called him Big Brother, though it felt like more. He ruffled my hair. Dad came once, drunk and raging. Caleb met him at the alley's mouth. I didn't see, but Dad never returned. Caleb's knuckles were bruised, jaw tight. Don't worry, he said. He won't touch you. I believed him. High school came. Miss Lee got me a scholarship and a dorm spot. Caleb drove me there on his motorcycle, wind whipping my hair. He handed me a cheap phone. Call if you need me. Anytime. I clutched it like a lifeline. Years passed. I studied hard, topping my class. Caleb and Mary became my family. On holidays, I returned to the alley, cooking with Mary, sketching with Caleb. He told stories of tattoo clients, but I sensed secrets. Senior year, Caleb grew distant, leaving for days, returning with shadowed eyes. Mary's worry deepened. One night, I overheard them. Mom, I can't quit, Caleb said. It's bigger than me. You're all I have, Mary pleaded. Don't end up like your father. I didn't understand then. Graduation neared. I got into a state university, forensic science. Caleb grinned. Gonna solve crimes, huh? Not bad, kid. I wanted to work with him, like in crime shows. The night before college, I sat on his bed, clutching his hand. You're leaving, aren't you? He stiffened. How'd you know? I'm not stupid. You're a cop, like Officer Finn. Take me with you. I'll enroll wherever you go. I'll work. Pay my way. We could solve cases together. Tears broke free. Caleb, take me with you. He sighed, kissing my tears away. Our Hannah's so smart. His forehead pressed against mine, tears wetting the pillow. My fear grew. He patted my back. Stop crying or your eyes will go bad. My tears stopped, but my heart bled. He spoke. Want to hear about my parents? Mom had a hard life. Second child, 2 brothers. Her family favored boys, dumping work on her. They didn't want her in school, but she sneaked to class, cutting grass, eavesdropping. She self-taught 1st and 2nd grade. Her teacher convinced her parents to let her continue. Education was respected then. Before college exams, floods hit. No money for her brother's wedding. They planned to sell her as a concubine. She begged, saying she'd pass, earn money. They didn't listen. She ran away to the train station, dancing her only routine. No one cared. Starving with the last train leaving, she panicked. A man in uniform appeared, my dad. He said her dance was beautiful, bought her a ticket. Dad was 23, just discharged, 5 years older. She was book smart. He was worldly. They clicked, talking like soulmates. They worked factory jobs, sold food, collected recyclables. They fell in love but had no registry. Mom suggested living together. Dad insisted on marriage, buying her registry. They married, had a small wedding. Dad drove a taxi, Mom taught. Life was tough but happy. When I was born, Dad became a cop. We weren't rich but stable. My birth was rough. Dad's birth was rough. Dad barged into the delivery room, yelling to save Mom, not me. I laughed through tears. Caleb ruffled my hair. Mom and I were fine. Dad got a vasectomy, saying no more kids. They were strict but loving. I thought Dad was a hero catching bad guys. He never attended school meetings. I took Mom's last name. Dad's info was blank. No photos, not even their wedding. He got busier, gone for months. Neighbors gossiped. Mom trusted him. Then he was shot, brought home. We learned he was an undercover cop. He recovered 6 months teaching me to identify poppies and toxic plants. I knew his job. I asked if it was worth it. He said some jobs no one wants, so someone steps up. I chose the police academy, wanting to be like him. After healing, he got busy, so he promised Mom he'd be back for her birthday. But in 2012, we got his ashes and a merit flag. He died chasing a drug cartel. His team said he fought to the end, killed by a grenade. The cartel scattered. His funeral was secret, his gravestone blank. Mom broke down. She begged me not to follow Dad. I moved us here, starting fresh. Officer Finn, my buddy, guessed Dad's sacrifice. You know the rest. My heart clenched. I hadn't imagined such a heroic story. No wonder Mary never celebrated her birthday, grieved monthly. Her happiest day brought pain. I couldn't stop Caleb. I had no right. Some are born to run forward, leaving others behind. Wiping tears, I asked, Caleb, when are you leaving? Don't know. Maybe tomorrow. How long? Will we meet again? He looked at me, silent. I'll wait for you. His eyes reddened. What if I never come back? You will. Fate's not that cruel. He nodded. Okay, I'll come back. Every day felt like a countdown. I kept busy to dull the pain. One afternoon, a wedding studio postcard fell from a textbook. I declined a bridal modeling gig, busy with school. Now I called. The offer stood. I dragged Caleb, wanting him to see me in a wedding dress. The dresses dazzled me. The owner asked if we'd model together, saying we looked perfect. I smiled. He doesn't like photos. In a white gown, with a diamond necklace, wavy hair, and a tiara, I looked in the mirror, radiant. Under the lights, I felt like a bride. Caleb looked up, eyes still, emotions swirling. Beautiful. I said, I do. 3 words out of context. He paused, smiling. Yeah, I do too. I looked down, hiding my racing heart. During the shoot, he stepped out. The owner asked, You two together? Not yet. She waved. You will be. Love conquers all. I wanted to believe that. Near the Caleb returned. He didn't say where he'd gone. I didn't ask. Love overcomes, but sometimes fails. Officer Finn and Sarah Lynn broke up. One night, we ate together. Sarah, drunk, slammed her ID down. Finn, 1 word. Will you marry me? I'll wait 10 years, 8 years. I've got time. Finn took her glass. You're drunk. Last time, will you marry me? He smirked. Didn't you say it was just fun? Can't handle a breakup? Her face hardened. Fine, I'm the fool. Plenty of guys want me. Why cling to you? Finn's hand clenched, voice light. I wish you happiness. Maybe I'll attend your wedding. Her wine splashed his face. Sarah grabbed her ID and left. A black car drove off. Finn slapped himself, eyes raw. I didn't want to say that, but I can't ruin her. Loving but unable to be together. Love felt laced with pain. Partings come suddenly. Last night, Caleb promised to view photos tomorrow, but this morning he said he was leaving at noon. We had 3 hours. It was June 22nd. I'd planned to use my modeling money for his birthday, but it had to be early. I rode my rusty bike to the market. A megaphone blared, buying hair, long hair, high prices. Girl, selling your hair? Yes. 200? No. 300 tops. Deal. In high school, I'd cut my hair short. 4 years later, it had grown. No time to haggle. 300 was enough. But the barber tricked me. Scissors sliced. My scalp felt cold. He'd cut it to my chin, but in the mirror, it was buzzed. He spat, handing me the cash. I trembled. "You didn't say this short," he sneered. "Take the money or I'll give your hair back." I snatched it. "You'll get yours, scum." Most bakeries were closed. I found one open. "Hurry, I need it fast." An hour later, I carried a blueberry cake to a flower shop. A bouquet of sunflowers. I had $8.70 left. Holding the cake and flowers, my hair's loss felt worth it. But Caleb didn't smile. He stared at my buzzed head, muttering, "Dummy." I saw tears in his eyes, rushing to him. "Hold it in. Crying before parting brings bad luck." I fanned his eyes. He choked, eyes helpless. I pulled him to light candles. The flames flickered, sunlight blending with them. "Caleb, happy birthday." He leaned close, whispering. My right ear heard nothing. I stared, confused. He looked away. "Nothing, just happy birthday to you." I believed him. We made wishes. I wished him safety for more years together. He smeared frosting on my forehead. I smeared his first. "I'm giving you my future luck. You'd better return it." He ate the whole cake with me, though he didn't like sweets. Before parting with that, he touched my head. Still prickly. "Don't touch it then," he smiled. "Next time I'm back, it won't be." He left with the $10 and sunflowers. I watched him and Finn disappear down the road. My heart didn't ache, just heavy. My eyes stung. No tears, only a bitter taste. Numbness, I learned later. Under my pillow, I found keys and a bank card. Caleb left me the house and his savings. Tears flooded out, like a sour rain. I lived alone in the house. My college scores earned a $10,000 scholarship. I studied forensics, meeting great teachers and friends, but I lost interest in fun, burying myself in the library or lab. Each year, I returned to the alley, checking for Caleb, cleaning the house. In my final year, I interned at a hospital, meeting Nathan Walsh, a kind senior, brother of my friend Ryan Walsh. After graduating, we joined the police's criminal division. I hoped to work with Caleb someday. Colleagues praised me, saying I honored female forensic scientists. For 6 years, thinking of Caleb gave me strength. His existence mattered. One day, writing a report, my heart seized. My pen fell, pain tearing through me, tears uncontrollable. It felt like a tree tied to my soul was felled far away. "Hannah, what's wrong?" Nathan rushed over. "I need leave. I have to go to Mercy Temple." Loving someone was like worshiping a fragile god. I needed faith. They said Mercy Temple's prayers worked. At the temple, rain poured. Nathan held an umbrella. I refused it, fearing insincerity. He ditched it, standing soaked beside me. The temple sat atop 108 steps. I knelt, kowtowing every 3 steps. Forehead to ground, knees bruised, each thud prayed for Caleb's safety. My forehead bled, knees purple. At the final step, the gates began closing. A monk in dark robes spoke. "No fate, no meeting, no debt, no attachment. Thin fate, exhausted bond. Return, child." The gates shut, chants echoing. I heard my name, but turning, only wind howled. Despair swallowed me. That day, I'd said goodbye to his back. I thought we'd meet again. But it was a farewell forever. One morning, I entered the autopsy room. On the table was Caleb. Deceased, Caleb Young, 31, male, 6'1", 165 pounds, time of death 48 hours ago. I didn't hear the rest, ears ringing. "Hannah, you know him?" a colleague asked. "No." "Then handle the autopsy." "Okay." I faked calm. Nathan glanced but said nothing. Opening his hand, I found the $10 bill, folded into a triangle. I thought I'd scream, but I felt nothing, heart still. At pain's peak, you're calm, finishing without flinching. With his body came a video, 30 hours of torture. Drug traffickers burned him, broke his bones, whipped him raw. Near unconsciousness, they salted his wounds, beating his face. They tortured him to death. Caleb, undercover for 6 years, helped dismantle a cartel. But as he withdrew, his identity was exposed. At the hospital, Officer Finn, unseen for 6 years, lay bandaged, missing an arm and leg. "Long time, Hannah." "Long time." Tears fell. "Finn, why couldn't Caleb come back?" He paused, pain in his eyes. "Your father. He was trafficked into a smuggling ring. His success rate was low, angering them. To save himself, he offered you. Caleb blocked info about you. When the mission ended, your dad saw him, insisting he was a cop. He meant revenge, but guessed right. After his identity was exposed, Caleb got us out, but he didn't make it. I leaned against the wall, mind blank. The truth was cruel. Where's my dad now? Dead, from an overdose. I didn't know whether to scorn his death or mourn Caleb's fate, or blame myself. Later, Finn asked, "How's she doing?" Then, "Good thing I didn't ruin her. I'm a cripple now." 2 years ago, Sarah had a car accident, became comatose. Pressured to marry, she drove drunk, crashing off a cliff. She was waiting for you. Two broken souls shared painful truths. I stayed in bed 2 days, hoping it was a dream, but reality remained. Here are the ashes and belongings of martyr Caleb Young. Per his will, they go to his fiancée, Hannah Tate. I froze. His belongings included sketches of me and a diamond ring. I hadn't realized he'd been watching me. The ring fit perfectly. Holding his ashes, I whispered, "Caleb, I'm bringing you home." The autumn wind howled, leaves scattering. A child bumped into me, chasing leaves. His mother followed. "Sorry, ma'am," he said, bowing. "It's okay." He stared. "Mom, you said white hair means grandma, but she's young." "Hush, sweetie. She's carrying a pain you can't understand." My silhouette blended into the bleak autumn, my gray hair mingling with leaves. At a flower shop, I paused. A bouquet of sunflowers. My husband doesn't like chrysanthemums. In the yard, the osmanthus bloomed, petals carpeting the ground. I sat on Caleb's sofa, hand on the wooden box. "Caleb, did it hurt?" They said he never screamed. "Look, I got your sunflowers. I didn't celebrate your birthday. Wishes don't work anymore. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. You're a fool, protecting me for 10 years over $10. A knock interrupted. Nathan stood outside, worry in his eyes, lingering on my gray hair. "Nathan, why are you here?" He sat across from me. "You seemed off. I wanted to check on you." "You knew him?" I showed the ring. "He was my husband. I'm sorry. Stay strong." I smiled, heart bleeding. Silence stretched. Then he said, "October's when the poplars glow golden. November, the snow's pristine. December, cherry blossoms blanket the hills. Life moves forward. There's beauty ahead. When I was 12, my dad died. Mom got cancer. My brother was 7. I felt like you, but I pushed through. Mom recovered. My brother grew up. I saw mountains, rivers, a wildflower brought joy. But you had your mom, your brother. I have nothing." He looked at me. "If you need me, I'll be here forever." I knew his feelings, but my heart was Caleb's. Caleb's enough for me. His eyes dimmed. "It's late. I need rest." "Rest well." At the door, he turned. "I'll reserve a spot for the next life. I'll wait behind him." He left, but there'd be no next life. This world took everything. I wouldn't return to spare him pain. I hugged the box, lying on Caleb's bed. Time erased his warmth. I thought I must be terrible. Fate took everything, punishing me. True love embraces hardships, accepts pain. They say entwined names mean destiny. We had none. Peace Alley was never peaceful. My memories rewound, a slow-motion film. At 14, I sighed at fate, not knowing it'd pierce my heart. My life was a treacherous path. In a haze, I imagined not entering the alley, letting darkness take me. I'd trade my next life for 2 wishes. First, a world free of drugs. Second, for Hannah and Caleb to never meet. My body grew cold, breath faint. Blood's taste surged, spilling down my chin, staining the sheets. At life's end, I looked back. At the underworld station, souls waited. Caleb was posthumously awarded a first-class merit. Among anti-drug police, the most dangerous in peacetime, the average lifespan is 41. Caleb left at 31. The war on drugs is never quiet. Some use their lives as blades, their blood forging peace. 1992, badge 013626 activated. 2012, badge 013626 sealed. 2017, badge 013626 reactivated. 2023, badge 013626 sealed forever. Years later, the Young family's story spread. People learned the thug was a hero. Some photographed his home now empty. Others visited his grave. As long as his sacrifice is remembered, so is the evil of drugs. A foggy morning cloaked the cemetery. 2 tombstones stood, adorned with flowers. Red ribbons wished they'd never lose each other in the next life. One held martyr Joseph King and Mary King. The other, martyr Caleb Young and Hannah Tate. People stood silently. Children, teens, adults, elders. At dawn, sunlight pierced the fog, casting a radiant red. The 5-star flag rose. The red star lit the sky. Tears welled. The fight against drugs had successors. Generations would guard this land. The fight, humanity's fight, will triumph.